So what's up guys, this is Legendary and welcome to my channel Legendary 001. So this is a clan war between Meteora and Powerpops, and this is in the arena tournament. So the ban pick start from Meteora clan. So they ban Groom as he's a really good initiator and is really heavy tank, and the Powerpops team ban Aiden as he's a really good ADR and is really helpful in gank after getting farmed. And the next ban coming up from Meteora is Apollo. Apollo is really good hero to be banned as he is a semi-tank hero and is a good support and plays a really good initiator role in the team fight. And the next ban coming up from Powerpop team is Lunaria. Lunaria is a good mage support as her second level and her ult is a good combination which is useful in the team fight. So this would be very helpful in the team fight for the team which has Lunaria, so they have banned her. And the next ban coming up from Meteora team is Wolfram. Wolfram is really good ban as he's a really good semi-tank hero and is a really good assassin too. And the next ban coming up is Minos. Minos is really good initiator and he's really helpful in a team fight because of his hook, and he can hook up to 5 people at a time if he uses it correctly. And the next the pick coming up from Meteora team is Ashrath. Ashrath is a really good pick as he's a really good pusher and he's really good helpful in the team fights as his ult can be used to kill 5 people at a time if he uses it properly. And the next two picks coming up from Powerpop's team are Vince and Lotus. Vince is a really good ADR and is really helpful because of his ult that increases his range of hitting. And Lotus is a really good support mage and her ult is really helpful in the team fight because she can stun almost all the teammates present inside the circle. So the next picks coming up from Meteora teams are Jean and Burninator. Burninator is really good tank hero and it's a really good initiator and he can take too much of damage, so he's really helpful in the team fights. And Jean is a really good support mage as well. Her ult is really helpful in the team fight as she can stun up to a whole team if she uses her ult properly. So the next picks coming up from Powerpop teams are Electros and Lubu. Lubu is a really good initiator and he's really helpful in 1v1 combat as well as his stun and third level is really helpful. And Electros is really good pusher and he can be used as a semi-tank hero also. The next picks coming up from the Meteora teams are Dragos and Ouroboros. Ouroboros is a really good semi-tank hero and acts as a mage as well. So he can be really helpful in the team fight because of his ult. And the next pick coming up is Dragos. Dragos is a really good pusher and he can be used as a semi-tank hero. But his negative point is that he can be thrashed easily. So the next pick coming up from Powerpop team is Cleopatra. Cleopatra is a really good mage hero and she is really helpful in the team fight because of her ult and her third level, which increases the damage if you repeatedly apply a spell on the opponent hero. So the final picks coming up from both the teams are Meteora picks up Ouroboros, Ashrath, Jean, Burninator and Dragos. And the Powerpop team picks Electros, Lubu, Vince, Cleopatra and Lotus. So let's see who's gonna win this, and I hope in this best of 3 event the winner will move on to the semi-finals to grab a place in the finals, and unfortunately the loser will be eliminated from this tournament. So let's see what happens. I think both the teams are equally balanced, but the Meteora team is a bit more tank than the Powerpop team, but the Powerpop team can manage this as they have really good combos in the team. So let's see, it's just 5 seconds remaining to start, and let's see. Yeah,
signals evolved. Troops deploy in 5 seconds.
So at the top from Meteora team there are two heroes, that is Jean and Burninator, and the three heroes from the Powerpop teams are Electros, Vince and Lotus. The three will be present at the bottom to secure that the buff will not be taken by the Meteora team. And at the mid, we have Ouroboros from Meteora team and Cleopatra from the Powerpop team. And at the bottom, Lubu is alone from the Powerpop team, and he'll be trying to push the lane as much as he can. And at the bottom, Ashrath will be farming in the bottom lane jungle, and the Dragoos will manage the whole lane alone. So let's see what is gonna happen. And Electros will be farming in the jungle, and it's a really good early 1v1 that is gonna be taking up in the bottom lane, and it's a really good initiation. And Lubu is gonna try taking down Ashrath, but he's safe and his teammates help him. And at the top, Burninator will try to harass the opponents and try to clear the lane and help his team. And at the mid, there is a clash between Cleopatra and Ouroboros, and Cleopatra is very low at present, and Ouroboros has almost half of his health. So let's see. And then at the top, Lotus and Vince will be harassing Burninator so that they can push the lane and take the tower down as fast as possible, which can be advantageous for the team. There are some wards coming up from both the teams so that they can gain some extra vision in the whole map. And it's a team fight coming up at the top, and Lotus will take the first blood of Ashrath, and there are some TPs coming up at the top to save their teammates, but unfortunately Ashrath is dead and Lotus gets the first kill, first blood. And Dragoos will try to push the top lane as much as he can. At present he is really heavy on Lubu, as Lubu is controlling the top lane alone, and the top buff is taken by Vince. So the Vince gets the attack buff, which is really advantageous for him. So let's see. And at present, Burninator is gonna be harassed by Lotus as usual, and it's initiation coming up from Burninator. It is a strategy so that he can, and Burninator is really low. It's a kill from Vince, and it's a really good ult coming up from Jean, but Lotus is saved. She's so fucking low. So it's a really good luck, and she's saved at the top, from the top. So let's see who's gonna win this event, who's gonna win this best of 3, and this is the first game of best of 3, and let's see what happens. As I think Ashrath, yeah, it's a good ult coming up from Ashrath and good stun as well. So Lubu will be trying to escape, and he's successful in escaping. So our burst will try to help his team, but Lubu will getting back as he has no teammates around him to help him. At the mid, Ouroboros will clear the lane and defend his tower, mid tower. So let's see who's gonna take the dragon, and the dragon is really low at present, and I think the Meteora team is gonna get the dragon, as anything can happen at present. And it's a good ult coming up from Jean and Ashrath. It's a good combo, and Lotus wastes her ult at in the dragon pit. Ashrath is really low, and Ashrath is dead. So Dragoos takes down Cleopatra, and it's a really good escape from Jean as well. It's a double kill coming up for Dragoos. Here Ouroboros is very low, and he'll be trying to save himself, and here Ouroboros is dead. Orbos is unfortunately Orbos is dead. It's his bad fate, I guess, and it's a good ult coming up from Ashrath. He takes down Lotus, and it's a really good team fight coming up at the top. And the whole team, it's a good combo. It's a good team fight coming up. Dragus takes down Lubu, and let's see what is gonna happen. I think he's gonna, and Dragus takes down Cleopatra as well. It's a double kill for Dragus. And at the bottom lane, Vince will be pushing the bottom lane so that it will be advantageous for his team, and he'll be pushing the tower as well. Let's see if he's gonna take the tower really easily or no. And it's a kill from Lubu, and Lubu is successful in killing Ashrath. As I told you that Vince will be pushing the bottom lane, and Vince gets the bottom tower as well. And let's see at the top, it's a good team fight coming up at the top. It's a really good ult coming up from Lotus. Good stun for Lotus, and Lotus gets Dragus in a team fight at the top. At mid, Cleopatra is really pushing hard, and so that they can take down the mid tower of the Meteora team. At present, Vince will be taking the bottom buff, but the opponent team won't let him take down the bottom buff, and Ashrath takes the bottom buff and he gets the speed buff at the bottom. So let's see what's gonna happen. I think the Powerpop team is gonna gank up on Jean or take down the tower. Yeah, the Powerpop team is gonna take down the tower, the top tower of Meteora team. Let's see what happens. Oh, it's a good initiation coming up from Cleopatra, and it's a good tactic from her to initiate, and it's a really good team fight coming up at the mid lane. The team fight is going towards the Meteora team at present, as the 3 members of the Powerpop teams are dead at present. Cleopatra will be TPing at the bottom lane, and Vince is gonna die. Oh my god, it's a good escape. He tries to escape, but Jean takes his kill. Let's see what's gonna happen at the mid. If the Meteora team is gonna take down the middle tower. No, yeah, they are successful in taking down the middle tower. So I think the at present the gold level is almost the same, but the Meteora team is slightly ahead of the Powerpop team, and the kill ratio is same 1:1 till at present. Both the teams are playing really very well, and they both are trying to take the opponent team as much as they can, and so thus the team fights are really getting very interesting at present. And Lotus gets the eye, so she can detect the wards laid down from the Powerpop team, and the Meteora team is gonna take down the dragon really easily, as the Powerpop team is unaware of that. So let's see what's gonna happen. So I hope there's gonna be a team fight at the mid as well. Yeah, the Cleopatra will be harassing the opponents with her ulti, and even Lotus will be trying to harass them. And it's a good initiation coming up from Electros, and it's a really good ulti coming up from Lotus. She stuns all the four members from the Meteora team, and it's a good ult coming up from Ashrath as well. He gets 2 members in his ulti, and it's a 5-man wipe, and the Powerpop team will be taking down only a single player from the Meteora team at present. The Meteora team is really very hard on the Powerpop team. It's a ultra kill for Ashrath, and he's really very lucky as his teammates were playing really very good, and Jean has the eye so that she can see the wards laid by the Powerpop team, and the Meteora team will be trying to end this game. Oh, it's a bad click. It's a misclick, I guess. It's a misclick from Meteora team, and the Meteora team will be trying to get the dragon buff. No, they'll just get back or this is a trap from the Meteora team. Yeah, it's a trap from the Meteora team, and the Meteora team gets Cleopatra. It's a really good ult coming up from Ashrath as well, and it's a really good team fight coming up. It's a good stun from Bunnyinator. He'll stun Lotus. So I think the Dragoos and the whole team of Meteora will be finishing this game. It's a good stun from Lubu as well. He stuns 4 member from the opponent team. It's a really good ult coming up from Ashrath. He gets the kill of Lotus. So it's a really good team fight coming up at the inside the high ground of. It's a really good team fight, and the Powerpop team is really heavy on the Meteora team at present, but anything can happen at this moment. It's a really good comeback from the Powerpop team, and I think they should clear the mid towers of the Meteora team, and it's a 5-man wipe coming up from the Powerpops. Now they are gonna take down the Zakar buff so that they get an advantage in the team fight further. So Lubu and Electros both will be helping Vince to take down Zakar, and they'll get the Zakar buff really very easily. And so let's see if the Zakar buff is advantageous for their team or no. And Electros will be taking it's a really good ult coming up from Ashrath. So let's see if there is gonna be any team fight or no. It's a good ult coming up from Lotus. So let's see what happens. Ashrath is gonna die. Yeah, Ashrath is gonna die and he's dead. It's a really good team fight coming up, and good stun coming up from Bunnyinator as well. And Dragoos is gonna jump on the opponent teams. But Cleopatra, it's a good stun coming up from Lubu as he stuns Dragoos, and Cleopatra is successful in taking down Dragoos. It's a really good comeback team fight coming up from the Powerpop team as they take down all the 5 members of the Meteora team, and it's a really good comeback from the Powerpop team. Vince gets a triple kill, and I think at this moment they should really push the middle tower of the Meteora team, and they're gonna do that. And it will be really helpful for their team if they finish the game right now, because the Meteora team just has Ashrath, and Bunnyinator is gonna revive now, and even Dragoos is gonna revive, and the Powerpop team takes all the mid tower of the Meteora team. So let's see what happens. Is there gonna be any team fight or no? It's a good ult coming up from Lotus. It's a good team fight coming up. Bunnyinator is gonna die. Yeah, Bunnyinator is dead. Ashrath just saves himself from this, and I think there is gonna be a really good team fight at the top lane, and Dragoos will take down Lotus really easily. And at this moment, anything can happen at this point, as it's a 1v1 between Dragoos and Vince, and Vince takes down Dragoos really easily. And at present, Powerpop has done a really good comeback, and they're gonna win this match as well. I think they're gonna win this match really very easily, as there is no one from Meteora team to save their tower, to defend their tower, and there is only Bunnyinator who is trying his best to save his tower, but he's unfortunate and he's not gonna succeed in that, and the Powerpop team gets the main tower. And okay, so it's a really good team fight coming up, and the Powerpop team wins this match. So let's see what happens. This was a private match, I guess.